Harry Eastlepp came to the United States when he was 10 years old in 1846 from Germany. He later moved to Altoona, where he started the Evening Mirror in 1872, which became the Altoona Mirror 2 years later. One of Harry's grandsons was Jack Edward Holtzinger, known as J.E. or Ted. He was born in 1903. Ted started his newspaper career at age 11 selling newspapers for the Mirror. He eventually would go on to be a cub reporter, and then he majored in journalism at Penn State. Ted would join the Altoona Mirror editorial staff as a reporter in 1932, and in 1941 he became director of the Mirror. He would go on to own farms, expand the Mirror, participate in local activities like the Salvation Army, YMCA, the Rotary Club, and serve on dozens of committees and executive boards, from the Altoona Industrial Expansion Program to the president of the Columbia Savings and Loans Association. Another one of those committees would be the Citizens Advisory Board that petitioned Penn State to open a branch campus in Altoona. With the nation 10 years deep into the Great Depression, many Altoonians knew a college education was out of reach for them, but Ted Holtzinger changed that. Known as the founder of the Altoona Undergraduate Center, he helped raise $5,000 to renovate the abandoned Webster School building on Lexington Avenue and 10th Street in downtown Altoona. And on September 13, 1939, the new Penn State branch opened its doors to the first class of 119 students. However, Holtzinger did not stop there. It was only the start. Shortly after the Altoona Undergraduate Center opened, World War II began, and enrollment went down to 40 students. It was Ted, the president of the Citizens Advisory Board, that incurred the losses until the center recovered. He also put together money to open the first dormitory to allow potential students from out of the area to come to the Altoona Undergraduate Center, this being the Annie C. Wolf's Women's Dormitory. This strategy worked, and the campus made it through the lean years. After the war, in November of 1945, the original owner of the Ivyside Park, E. Raymond Smith, passed away. With great foresight, Robert Ica, Ted Holtzinger knew they needed a place where the college could expand. They approached Mrs. Smith about the purchase of the 40-some acres. Although she had other offers on the place, she wanted Penn State to have the park. She sold the land and all the buildings on it for what was owed in back taxes. The advisory board raised $50,000, $35,000 for the land and another $15,000 to renovate the old bathhouse into classrooms and laboratories. And in 1948, AUC opened its doors at the Ivyside location. At first, this experiment was known as Holtzinger's Folly, because most of the area was a wilderness. But Ted's ability to unite the community for roads, electricity, and other necessities proved in short time that it was no folly, and he was a man of vision and determination. With expansion always in mind, the advisory board had a capital campaign program to build their first permanent building at Ivyside. All $550,000 needed to build the E. Raymond Smith Building in 1958 was donated by the community. This is the same year the Undergraduate Center became the Altoona campus of Pennsylvania State University. This brought in more students, and the advisory board and community raised another $1.25 million for the SLEP Student Faculty Center in 1964. Not resting on his laurels, Ted continued raising money and building the campus. The board raised another $1.1 million that was matched by state and federal funds, along with support from Penn State to build the Robert E. Ica Library, the J.E. Holtzinger Engineering Building, the Science Building, Port Sky Cafe, the Edith Davis Eve Memorial Chapel, and the Maple Resident Hall, all by 1971. And then the Stephen A. Adler Athletic Complex that was built in 2 stages, first in 1972 and then in 1977. Ted Holtzinger faithfully served on the advisory board from its inception in 1939 to his death on January 23, 1977. One of his eulogies in the Altoona Mirror read, "Under Ted Holtzinger's leadership, the Altoona Mirror grew to become one of the most respected newspapers in Pennsylvania. His dedication to his community was unexcelled. Mr. Holtzinger's civic-mindedness went beyond his local community. His service to the Pennsylvania State University extended over a period of 35 years. as a founder of the Altoona campus and a university trustee. As a citizen of this community and of the Commonwealth, we owe to the memory of Mr. Holsinger a debt of gratitude. I know I speak for thousands of area residents and readers that his editorial voice will be sadly missed.